Welcome back. I've been working on my Raspberry Pi Pico temperature probe project and I'm taking it in a new direction now. I am adding a LCD screen instead of the 8-segment displays, mainly because wiring that is become problematic. But I've been staring at this code, and as you can see here, I generated this code with ChatGPT because looking at other versions I've found at miscellaneous websites have had very what seems convoluted, at least to me, ways of with bit shifting and bit masking, and it wasn't making sense to me. What I've decided to do, and none of them worked. That was the other key portion, is none of them were working. So this is the version of the code that I eventually got working. I did make some modifications, but it all boiled down to is what is this chip and what is this module. So this is a module from Micro Center. It is a 1602 I2C module, so that just means that it is a 16 characters by 2 row module. And this is the link on Micro Center's website for the module, and surprising, or not so surprising, there is no data sheets. And if you start looking at the questions you get from a year ago, does this product have a data sheet? And it's a hybrid product. It is the display, but it also has an I2C module hard soldered onto it. So how do we go about looking at that module? Now, the module itself I couldn't find, but this is the chip here, or a version of the chip here that it uses. This PCF8574 chip. As you can see here, it has 8 data lines that come out, and those go to the 8 data lines that are on the chip, kind of. And that's part of where I ran into the issue with this chip, is that on the actual, and here's the data sheet for the display, and if you look here, if you look at the instruction set, there are 7 address lines, read write line, a register select line, and what's not showing here is the enable line. Yeah, so as you can see here, there's these pin headers, and there's 16 of these pins, which you can see down here what those pins are. So ground, okay, that doesn't need to be a data signal. VCC, that doesn't need to be a data signal. The LCD contrast is done by a potentiometer over here, or the brightness I should say is done by the potentiometer, but there is an adjustment for the LCD. Now we go into, and then at the bottom here, this is actually the voltage for the LED for the backlight. So now you have these data pins: the register select, the read write, the enable, and data bus 0 through data bus 7. So 8 bits there. To do anything with the module, you would need 8, 9, 10, 11 data pins. But as we saw here, we only have 8. And if you start looking here, you're like, oh, there's these address pins. That's something completely separate. I went down that rabbit hole trying to figure out how to access those address pins, thinking that those were wired in also. What the chip actually uses is, if you go into, so if you look at the instruction set, you'll see here that you have this function set, and you have this command here, and then the next item is DL, and that is if you want to be 4 digits or 8 digits, or 8 digits or 4-bit digits. Then you can set other things like if it's 1 row or 2 row, and you can set things, the font style, the 5x7 or 5x10, and I think this is actually 5x10, I believe, and you would send this command. You can see that here in the, when it does the initialization of the LCD screen, it writes the commands in a 4-bit mode. Sends command 38, which we will originally was going to send command 30. I corrected that. It's a change I made. It sleeps, I have it sleeping for, or it has it sleeping for 5 milliseconds because of timing. It sends the command again. It waits 150 microseconds and sends the command again. I don't understand why it sends it 3 times. That's part of the rabbit hole I went under. And then it sets the 4-bit mode. But it's already sending stuff in 4-bit mode, so I don't understand that. And it could also send stuff in 8-bit mode. And that's how I was originally working with this. Is I had figured out, I had set this class so it can send a message, and it wasn't working correctly. So I'm going to actually move, and this was using the LCD 1602. So I'm actually going to end up moving this message and print message to the new software in probably the next video. So I just want to, in this video, I just wanted to introduce what I was doing. I'm just going to break down, as far as I understand, what this code is doing. It's importing the I2C and pin functions from the machine library. It's importing time. Then it is using the I2C function and setting the pins. Pin 5 is the clock pin, and pin 4 is the data pin, and they're called SEL and SDA. It's setting the frequency to 10,000. Correction, 100,000. I will see about changing the frequency. I don't think that's going to make any difference. And this is the address of the I2C module, and those address lines I talked about, that's where that address comes into, because you can use multiple I2C devices on a single pin or a single set of pins. And so you can set the I2C, and if you want to send something to this device, you would set the address of that. But if you say you had another device that was at hex 20, you would send it to that address. Here are some constants. This is the if you want to turn the backlight on. This is the enable pin, which we discussed earlier, the read write pin, and the register select pin. So it has this pulse. It's going to pulse the data and send the enable and disable. Every command needs to have the enable pin set high and then set low. So you would set everything else on the bus, and then you say go high, go low. So that's what this does. It sets the data and ORs it with the enable pin, which is set at 4 hex, which is the third least most significant bit. And then to reverse that, it ANDs it with its complement. So it would make that pin off. It sleeps for 50 seconds each time. Now, a nibble is 4 bits, so it sends a nibble and it sends the mode, and if no mode is selected, the default is 0. And it's going to take the data, or it's going to take the nibble, and that with F0, which would set the 4 most significant bits to 1 and the 4 least most significant bits to 0. It is going to OR that with the backlight, so to make sure the backlight is turned on, the 08, which would be the 4th least significant pin, and the mode. And it's setting mode to 0, 0. Then it's going to use the write to command in the I2C. So I glossed over when I was talking about the pulse and talking about the write to command. So this is in the machine library, and it takes an address, and it takes buffer and a optional argument of a stop, which by default is true. So it sends that address, the hex 27, which in decimal is 39, and it takes the data that we had done in the previous line and makes it into a byte data type. And then it pulses also with that data. And if we want to write in 8-bit, it separates the high nibble and the low nibble into the individual portions, because it's only using 4 of those pins for the data, and the other 4 pins are used for the control pins. And then if you want to send a command, you would write 8 bits with the command, and the mode would be 0. Those are all the commands that are defined. and then you initialize it. We discussed the initialization earlier in the video. Why turns the display off before it clears the display, I don't understand, and then turns it back on with the blinking. I have to play around with each of these commands, and that all goes by this instruction set. Anything where the register select is 0 and read write is 0 are all these commands here. So to clear the screen, to return the cursor, input set, and all those. And then it takes a string, and of course it doesn't word anything as anything valuable for variable names. S, okay, that's a string, and then you're getting each character in the string, okay, and then you are using this function ord. This returns an ordinal value of a character, and that just has to keep everything in line. So byte array of A is 97. Not something that I've used in Python before, so there's that. And then the LCD goto. This sets the row and column, so where you want to move the cursor to. And like I said, I'm going to take these other functions that I was trying to create so I can, or at least this print message. This print message function I want to use so it can, probably should be called print center message. So I'll be implementing that later. So this will take the place of the segment functions that I had created at this point 3 years ago. That's how long this project has been festering, and combining it with the one wire DS18X20 probe. So this code should remain the same because it will return a value that I can then print out. So I can take the value, the R, what I call it, R data, Celsius R data, or the Fahrenheit R data, and I can take that value and put it on the display. And that's what I will be working on in future videos. Thank you for watching this video. You have a great day.